If you love nature, stick around. Today we'll walk through 7 shocking facts that show just how deep elephant minds go. Some elephants have passed the mirror test in laboratory studies, which suggests a level of self-awareness most species don't show. That kind of recognition hints at a mind that can see itself as separate from others, but their intelligence doesn't stop there. We'll see how they console companions in distress, adopt orphans, and even gather around the dead as if acknowledging loss. These acts point to empathy and memory working hand in hand, and memory, as we'll see next, can be the key to survival. Imagine a herd crossing parched grasslands. No signs, no maps, only the oldest female setting the path. She carries in her mind places remembered across decades, guiding the group to water sources the younger elephants have never seen. This living memory map is how they survive hardships that might wipe out other animals. Her recall isn't just strong, it bridges generations. Researchers have recorded matriarchs leading herds to watering holes, remembered across decades, sometimes more than 30 years. These routes aren't instinct, they're passed down. Each matriarch teaches the next, creating an unbroken chain of knowledge that keeps the herd alive when the climate turns against them. This ability links to an unusually large hippocampus, the brain region, tied to spatial memory, which helps elephants store detailed maps of landscapes and resources. It's like a library that grows stronger with every season. The older the matriarch, the more her mind holds, and that depth of knowledge can mean survival when the land dries up. Studies show that herds with older leaders maintain better health in droughts because they know exactly where to go. What's fascinating is the precision. One herd shifted its path to avoid new settlements. Others now divert travel routes to stay clear of zones with heavy poaching risk. These decisions show an updated mental map that isn't fixed in the past, but constantly adjusted to new threats. That flexible memory explains why migrations change suddenly, as if the herd has recalculated in real time. The knowledge stored in a matriarch's mind holds water sites, fruiting trees, and mineral licks. When she dies, the herd risks losing centuries of stored wisdom in an instant. Yet the system is resilient. Young elephants shadow her for years, learning to read the land and remember where safety lies. These memory maps keep herds alive, but they are not their only tool. Elephants also share information in ways that seem impossible at first glance, sometimes reaching one another without sound. Across miles of open ground, silent signals travel beneath the ground in ways most of us never notice. A single set of vibrations can spread for nearly 13 kilometers, about 8 miles, carrying information far beyond where our own voices would fade. For elephants, this seismic channel is part of daily life. Picture a poacher's footsteps pressing into the soil. An elephant far away shifts, sensing the faint tremor. She pauses, then pushes a low rumble into the ground, and soon the herd moves. They pick up those vibrations with sensitive pads and nerve endings in their feet, and even through bone conduction in their skulls and trunks. Under the right ground conditions, especially dry, compact soil, these seismic cues reach farther than sound, acting as another layer of warning. Elephants distinguish who or what is moving by feel alone. Tremors from zebra hoofbeats pass unnoticed, but the rhythm of a stalking lion triggers an immediate shift in behavior. Calves sometimes stomp to signal their location, while adult females can send out signals tied to reproduction that draw males from miles away. Their voices are just as intricate. Each elephant has its own distinct timbre, almost like a vocal fingerprint. They learn regional dialects. Families in one region sound different from those in another. During playback experiments, elephants could match the voice of a relative even after years apart. They also show sharp awareness of human sound. In one study, elephants reacted defensively to recordings of Maasai men's voices, yet stayed calmer at the sound of women and children. That suggests they can not only separate human languages, but also gauge potential threats from subtle cues. This communication web can be disrupted. Heavy rain softens seismic signals, and road traffic noise forces elephants to call louder or shift to higher tones. Still, they adapt by blending channels. Observers have seen a herd detect a vibration, then pair it with rumbling calls and ear postures, passing the message outward like links in a network. Young orphans miss out on years of practice in this layered language. Rehabilitators sometimes use recordings so calves can rehearse call and response patterns that help them integrate into new groups. What's fascinating is how much of this system isn't just about sounding alarms, it's about keeping bonds strong. Contact calls between mothers and calves tether them when sight is cut off by brush, and synchronized movements can hold herds together across wide spaces. This complex web of warning and contact reveals not only coordination, but emotional depth. That depth appears again in ways even more surprising. Moments when elephants extend care and empathy to others outside their own families. A young elephant slips into a mud pit, trumpeting in panic. Moments later, several females rush in, none related to the calf. With trunks and shoulders, they lift the struggling infant to safety. These rescues are not rare. Elephants often step in to help young outside their own family. Part of the explanation is biological. Elephants have spindle neurons, the same class of brain cells found in humans. Great apes, whales, and orcas. These neurons are linked to empathy, self-awareness, and social processing. They appear as elephants mature. Around the same time, young animals begin taking on caregiving roles, hinting that empathy and social learning shape survival. Field studies show this pattern again and again. Females protect orphans from predators, while adolescents sometimes guide elders who can't see. Whole groups pause to surround grieving mothers, offering touches and low rumbles of support. Think of herd care like a village childcare system. Adults rotate duties, teach the young, and protect the vulnerable. These shared roles create strong safety nets that last for life. In Ambosuli, unrelated females have been seen nursing orphans alongside their own calves. In Botswana, elephants form alla-mother coalitions, where females share babysitting. One group even took turns lifting a weak calf during migration so it could keep up. Orphans adopted early remain bonded to their new families into adulthood, showing that these acts build permanent ties. Their care isn't limited to their own species. Elephants sometimes inspect human or animal injuries with their trunks and even guard wounded creatures. Observers have described elephants breaking up predator attacks on non-elephant prey, an act with no clear personal benefit but clear protective intent. Research suggests elephant brains respond to distress in ways comparable to our own. They show increased stress hormones, extended behavioral changes, and gestures of consolation. After traumatic events like poaching, elephants display hypervigilance and PTSD-like behaviors. Yet when integrated into stable caring groups, orphans show recovery, proving resilience grows alongside vulnerability. This empathy is not soft sentiment, it increases group survival. Herds where care is shared lose fewer calves and cope better with drought. And notice how these same social minds extend beyond comfort and caretaking. They also appear in the way elephants approach physical challenges, revealing intelligence put into action. Elephant intelligence also shows in the way they use and adapt tools, turning raw materials into practical solutions. One classic example comes from elephants breaking branches into specific length. In one study, shortened branches reduced fly harassment by about 43%, and elephants were often seen stripping or trimming them first. Clear evidence of tool modification rather than chance. They've also used branches as scratching posts, picking sturdier ones for thick skin or delicate pieces for sensitive spots. Their reasoning extends into group problem solving. In cooperative experiments, pairs of elephants had to pull ropes at the same time to get food. Many learned to wait for their partner, showing awareness that teamwork mattered. Occasionally, individuals invented their own workaround, like anchoring a rope with a foot to operate it alone, an act of innovation that spread once others copied the trick. At the same time, researchers note mixed results about how elephants reason through cause and effect. In some tests, they performed unnecessary steps, such as touching a lid even when it was already removed. This suggests their causal understanding doesn't always follow the same patterns as ours. In both wild and managed settings, elephants show this flexible thinking. In dry riverbeds, they dig wells that provide water for other animals too. One calf rolled a log to reach fruit hung out of trunk range. In zoos, puzzle feeders and suspended tires have challenged elephants to experiment with new tactics. Some persist with trial and error until they succeed, demonstrating a willingness to adapt strategies rather than give up. What's fascinating is how quickly these skills pass on. Young elephants copy adult behaviors within their first couple of years, spreading practical solutions through the herd. Field researchers have seen entire groups adopt methods like unlatching gates, only to abandon them once keepers changed the mechanism. These shifts show not just imitation, but also the ability to update strategies as conditions evolve. Taken together, elephants' tool use looks less like instinct and more like culture, learned, shared, and dependent on social connections. Their intelligence is both hands-on and collective, blending innovation with cooperation. And as we consider these patterns, it prompts a larger question about what intelligence really means across species and why protecting it matters. Elephants remind us that intelligence takes many forms, shaped by the need to survive in changing landscapes. Their memory, empathy, and communication reveal social minds that rival our own. But the reality is stark. Nearly 1/3 of Africa's elephants were killed in the past decade, a toll researchers describe as roughly 100 lost each day in some periods. That pressure is even altering evolution, with some populations now showing smaller tusks. Small, practical actions you can take include avoiding ivory products, supporting community-driven conservation groups, and choosing ethical tourism that protects habitats. Subscribe for more wildlife stories and simple actions you can take. Each matriarch we lose takes knowledge with her. Our choices can help keep those stories alive.